What's up? It's Matt. We're back with another episode of MPTV, and we've got our second repeat guest, very special guest. What's going on? Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, all the good stuff.
Okay, I'm Andrea Ansubiguan. I am now the co-owner of the European Cafe in Montgomery, former owner of Branch Hill Coffee Company in Loveland.
I was going to say, the first time around 2 years ago, you were Branch Hill Coffee. Now you're European Cafe.
Hey, that's right. Moving up.
Sounds fancier.
I'm very fancy. I'm exceptionally fancy.
And it's wild because we started MPTV. I started building out the concept for it in December, January, before the pandemic. And then we had 4 or 5 episodes. You were one of them, late February, early March. And ended up doing 9 because I'm like, you know what? My guy's in town. We're going to drive all over the place. 5 cities, 9 episodes. And good thing because like 2 weeks later, the world shut down.
Yeah, I was honored to be one of the first ones you asked to speak to.
And you're the first person that I asked to speak a second time. Because I asked Shaheen Kazemi after I asked you. So you're one of the first people ever to do the podcast, and you're the first person I said, we need to double take.
This is impressive. It must be because my name starts with A.
Could be.
Or maybe I'm just that good.
Double A MCO. I always get messed up on Andrea because I had a girlfriend in high school that she went by Andrea. And then I have my sister-in-law who goes by Andrea. And so I used to always remember Andrea.
Yep, I'm Andrea.
Yeah, you're Andrea.
Yep, that's me.
So the coffee business and back on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of years have been different. But you got the new place. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you was because you have a unique circumstance in that you took over a cafe that
Correct.
You thought was going to be throw some paint on the walls, do a couple little things, and go.
Correct.
And you had the decision that nobody else probably would make. Most people would have encountered some obstacles and been like, okay, well, let's keep doing this. You did. No, we're not going to compromise. We're going to do it our way.
Correct.
Talk about what you encountered and then some of your decision to where you didn't do what I'd say probably 90% of people would have did and been like, okay, we still got to open up.
Correct.
We'll figure it out.
So part of when we purchased European Cafe, it was an operating business. We had a vision for it. We inherited or would have inherited the staff. They all agreed to stay on. And we got quite a bit of, you can't do that. So we were still operating Branch Hill at the time. So we made the decision to, one morning very early, just say, forget it. We're just not going to open today, and we're done for a while, and let's figure this out. So we locked the door, told the former employer, the employees of the former owner that we're really sorry, but this isn't the direction we're going, and just closed up and looked at the space, took a long, hard look at it. It unfortunately was abused for years. We would have had to go through so much to even get a proper health inspection passed so that we could open as new operators. We just chose to put some paper up, lock it, continue to run Branch Hill until we could figure it out. Yep. And then COVID hit. And right before COVID hit, we were very fortunate, I guess, maybe, to sell Branch Hill. At the time, it seemed kind of like, what am I doing? My baby. Selling my baby.
Because you had a great operation there.
It was really fantastic. We were very fortunate. Our customers loved us. At the beginning of COVID, we pivoted that business because it had a drive-up window. Immediately, the mamas were afraid to take their babes into Kroger because they were listening to the news and all of this, and nobody wanted to go anywhere. So we pivoted our business quickly and started selling our lunch meats and breads and milk and whatever they needed for home through that drive-up window. They didn't have to go into Kroger's to run in to get a gallon of milk. We did it for them. So it was kind of interesting how all that spun, and then at the end of April, we were done there. So we kind of followed the country's line and stayed stayed away from people.
Yep.
And then after a while, we decided it's time to take a look at the space that we're now still paying rent on.
Yep.
Right. So,
which had to be tough that you bought a business, took over the space, and writing a check every month and nothing happening.
But fortunately, the other business was doing well. You know, we really did okay during COVID. I feel badly for the restaurants that couldn't.
Yeah.
But we took our time with the renovations. We got into that space and decided everything's got to go. There's just no way. All of the equipment was inoperable pretty much, which we knew, but the surrounding parts of the facility were just needed some love. So we decided we were going to give it all the love it needed.
What was the most surprising thing that you encountered? Because I know when I bought this building, of course, when you buy a building or buy something, they're not going to say everything wrong with it.
Right.
It's like I always crack up when people are like, oh, you should have got references on the person you hired. I'm like, you can call references. They're not going to say, oh, by the way, he did this, and this. But when like this building's had issues, nothing major, but a couple of things that I'm sure the prior landlord knew.
Sure. So in going in, when you introduced me, we talked about, you said something about, just maybe painting and going on from there. And that's really what we thought. We could do a nice, deep clean, paint the walls, change up a couple of things, brighten it up, and move on. There was so much residue because they had fryers and all kinds of things. There was so much residue in there. The only way that we could possibly get anything done was just to
tear it out.
Go to the studs.
Yeah.
We didn't do so much where we had to get building permits or anything like that. We just really replaced some drywall where it needed to be replaced, and put in all new equipment. Tore up the floor and just polished the concrete. So what we thought was dirt was actually just, grease.
Yeah.
Pretty gross. So we did that. So most surprising thing we found were 3 live wires behind the wall.
Did you say there was like maybe in the drop ceiling there were just some wires
and
hanging up there?
There were 24 light fixtures just sitting up there.
Were there light bulbs in them?
Yep, they were live. They were hot. So yeah, and nobody, it was interesting.
Yeah, and what to me, one, it says a lot about your ethics and what you want to deliver to the clients, because a lot of that stuff carries into there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's tough because a lot of businesses would say, oh, no, we're going to open no matter what. We'll figure it out. But also, it uncovers a lot of weaknesses in businesses that they don't look deep enough. Like I always tell friends of mine in different industries, like have outside people come in and look around your business, because there's going to be stuff that you've seen 100 times that you don't realize is there. So that,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so that operator probably may have seen it at some point, forgot about it, whatever, and then it becomes background noise. It's like a poster hanging in.
Exactly. It's the the hurdle that you just always work around every day, and you don't see it anymore. And in fairness to the space, it's been a restaurant for almost 30 years, and it's been the European cafe. It, I think, has gotten, when we purchased it, it was so far away probably from its original thought process. The city of Montgomery needed something where people could come and be comfortable. And honestly, I felt like they were being disrespected in the old space because it wasn't clean, it wasn't friendly, it wasn't inviting. It was just a place because there was no other place.
Yeah.
And so I think we've really put forth the effort. We've still got work to do. We've only been open for 8 months.
Yeah.
But we've really put forth the effort to, make it a place where people want to come. We've opened up, the space has these 3 great, big, beautiful picture windows.
Yeah.
and they were covered up before.
Those were covered?
Those were
like
covered.
when I pull up to the street on the corner,
right,
they were covered.
They were covered by this big, ugly bar, people could sit at, which is great if you're looking out. But if you're sitting in the restaurant, you just see people's backsides and you can't see out the window. Yeah. So we opened that up, and we've had several customers say how they just love to sit and just look out the window.
It reminds me of the home improvement shows where the people go in there, they find a house that they think they got major issues, and they got carpet, and they pull it up, and it's like, oh, these great hardwood floors. Yeah. And behind this drywall, there's all these exposed brick, and it's like, oh, man, this is great.
Yeah. So we kept those windows open. And the best $20 I spend every 2 weeks is having the guy come and clean my windows on the inside and out, because they're spotless. They're beautiful.
You don't have me clean your windows. I tried to clean ours. I have a company, Mela, that comes in and cleans our windows.
They're great.
And I forgot to have them clean these little small windows on the back. And it's near where the ground is, and so apparently mud splashes up. So I went out there before we had an open house. Like, I got this. Yeah, I'm not very good with a squeegee. I don't know. I thought I watched these guys. I'm like, okay, I got this. No, I didn't have it. So talk about one thing I thought was pretty cool was your thought process behind not changing the name, because a lot of people's inclination would be to go with, hey, we're going to call ourselves the XYZ Bean Cafe. And you said, no, we stayed with the name. Why did you stay with the name?
Like I had mentioned previously, the business or the restaurant has always been the European Cafe. We did not want to be XYZ Bean Company, where the old European Cafe is, because at that point you lost them. Yep. We were closed long enough where we were able to rebrand the entire business. And if you walked in the door today and you expected the same thing that you got 3 years ago, that's on you. Yeah. It's not on me. We've put in really nice high-end equipment, beautiful brand new finishes, and everything is clean. Yep. And bright and inviting. And like I said, we've still got little things to do, and those will come. But I didn't, none of us wanted to compromise on, just, for lack of a better term, polishing the turd. Yep. We didn't want to do that.
Well, they say lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, these customers in that area, they deserve to be treated with respect, and they deserve a place that, is inviting and that they want to come back to.
It's probably one of the higher end communities. I mean, you got Indian Hill a block away. You got Montgomery. You got a lot of good areas there.
We're in the highest demographics in Hamilton County for annual income.
Is that why
within 1 mile?
When I called realtors to look at houses, they said there were no houses anymore. They just don't want me up there. I'm just kidding. So I
drove the wrong car.
So I like the thought process behind it, because a lot of people's inclination would be changed because it's a new brand, it's new ownership, it's new menu. But thinking deep enough that Susie's not going to remember her XYZ sandwich she got 2 years ago and expect to come in and it be there. But at the same time, people are like, oh my gosh, European Cafe reopened. Because I guarantee there's a lot of people that were excited to see it.
Very excited.
And they were probably even more excited to see it when they came back and went, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable.
So the only true problem that we have still 8+ months into it is, so Google lasts forever.
Yep.
And people take pictures of menus.
Oh my gosh.
And so I can't get other people's menu pictures taken off of my Google page because I don't own the picture. The person who took the picture owns the picture.
Yeah.
So I still get calls about whatever was on the old menu, but we don't offer it anymore.
Yeah.
Because, it's online. Well, but that was a picture somebody else took, and I can't. Yeah. Why can't you take it down? Well,
that's exactly why I tell my daughter and my son to be careful what you put on the internet.
Yeah.
Because it's your digital footprint, and it's permanent.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just down in spring break, and 10 of her and 9 friends went down, and they should be driving home in my SUV any minute here. And I told them, I'm like, hey, because they're all college athletes. I'm like, yeah, you're all gonna have some fun. There's probably gonna be stuff that I don't want to see pictures of that happen. I'm realist enough to know there's shit that happens that Dad doesn't know about.
Right.
Don't post it on Snapchat or TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, because next thing you know, now scholarships are pulled, and there's somebody on your team or your school that doesn't like you,
right? That's
going to send it to the people. But it's the same with restaurants, with businesses, that what goes online
exactly
can stay online. And if it's really bad, I had what was it the other day? This guy on LinkedIn had made a post on LinkedIn thinking that it was going to be, I guess it was the night before Russia invaded Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And he made some post about they're going all out battle with their Amazon reseller program, just like Russia and Ukraine. And I guess went to bed, and then the attack happened overnight. And he woke up the next day to apparently tens of thousands of shares and negative, and to a point where he had to step down from one of his companies. And
oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it was apparently, I don't know how. If you look at the picture of the guy, it looks like he would say it. Not to be mean, but it was. I saw this guy's picture. I'm like, I could see that guy saying it. But it was funny because he actually owned up to it, and he got on a podcast with, I think it was Entrepreneur Magazine, and said, "Hey, I'm a human piece of garbage. What I said was trash. I shouldn't have said it. I said it in the wrong context, but now it's out there. That will be there for the next 20 years.
Forever. Yeah. So that's really the only push that we get right now is still people calling in and placing orders from, some old menu picture that's floating around on the internet.
So this building 26 years ago was AAA.
Oh, yeah.
26 years ago, AAA. For the last 20 years before, I guess 2 years ago, it was Compass Engineering. So AAA hasn't been here in 26 years, right? We get people every week that walk in the front door with their envelope with their check for AAA, and they're like, "Is this AAA?" And I'm like, "What?" The first time it happened, I'm like, I knew AAA was here because there's a dumbwaiter, and I heard the story how they used the building. It was like, who have you been giving your check to the last 25 years? Because they haven't been here in 26. Were these guys just taking your check and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Thanks.
So maybe you've been getting them and you just deposit them as double A. Like, no, they just added an A on accident.
That's right.
But no, so people have long memories, I guess, is the point of that.
Yeah. But we, we are so fortunate. And everyone has really, we have one customer, and he comes in probably 3 to 4 times a week, has a little lunch or has a little breakfast, sits, has a coffee, looks out the front window. He always faces out. And he told us, he said, "I'm really glad you guys are here, and I'm glad that you have created a community gathering place." So all of my posts now on Instagram and Facebook have the hashtag neighborhood gathering place. So that's kind of our deal, and it really is. We get mamas meeting their grown children there. We get families coming in on the weekends. We have a lot of foot traffic, a lot of walking traffic. It's a great spot. We are very fortunate.
So here's my challenge to you then from a marketing standpoint.
All right.
I want you to do a contest in the next month to where you get on Facebook and you have a picture that's one of these people gathering and say, we want to know $50 gift card, or maybe you do $100 gift card to you and your crew that gather here. We want to know who your crew is, a picture, and why you come here to talk. Who is your group? Is it moms? Is it people from church? Is it school? And get them to post in the comment a picture of you and your crew and why you come here and what's special to you. And get them to post those pictures, because now you'll get 30, 40 people post a picture.
Posting pictures,
and then you put on there, you get engagement. We put a little thing on there. By the way, we will use these pictures in marketing in the future on the business page. So now all of a sudden you have 50 posts to make over the next year that says, "This is Angelina and crew. They come here on Tuesdays. When do you come to European Cafe?" So it gives you some good content, because most restaurants, you ever heard the term blue ocean, red ocean in business? So the concept is, if you can picture half screen, and maybe I can get the smart guys on my editing team to put it up here, but the book talks about the red ocean has a bunch of people fishing in the same water. The blue ocean has one boat. And the red ocean's red because there's blood in the water. Everybody's going after the same pot of the same fish.
Gotcha.
Whereas the blue ocean, there's nobody there. And so a lot of businesses have a hard time figuring out how to get in the blue ocean. Well, with social media, if you go to 9 out of 10 restaurants or coffee shops or cafes, their Facebook page, their Instagram page is them puking on their customers pictures of their product for the last 10 years.
Sure.
At the end of the day, like, I called my wife today, to see if she wanted to go get Mexican tonight for dinner. It wasn't about Mexican. It's about hanging out with her and Cole.
Sure.
It's not really about the food because we eat out every damn day. Like we don't I make Pop-Tarts and DiGiorno and occasionally ribs. But the content on social media is all red ocean. Every restaurant the week of the Super Bowl made posts about coming to here for the Super Bowl or getting your food to go. Our clients, I threatened a lot of them and said, hey, do not post for people to come to your restaurant in the Super Bowl. Everybody else is doing it. Post a simple contest, who's going to win the big game, $100 gift card. And now people will comment and they'll engage. And I had one client call me and says, you don't believe this. We had our biggest weekend ever in the Super Bowl. We've been open for like 8 years. And he said, we didn't even talk about buying food from us the whole week. We did an email and a text about going to this Facebook post and engaging in the post to guess the winner. You got to say the big game in Cincinnati or Los Angeles because those aren't trademarked. Bengals and Rams are. He's like, Matt, we had the biggest weekend ever. Unbelievable amounts of food went out of here. Great sales. And we never actually asked people to come. Whereas in years past, we would consistently make posts like, get in here, get your food for the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And like your mom and your wife comment and like and share it, but nobody else. But when you make the contest, now all your customers are commenting and engaging in it. And guess what? When a brand is top of mind more often, because they saw the email, they saw the text, they saw the Facebook post, and they saw the notifications on their little thing on Facebook.
Right.
Because they commented, and then one of their friends liked their comment. Oh, what's that? Oh, European Cafe. Oh, what's that? European Cafe. They go, shit, that sounds good for coffee tomorrow.
Good idea.
So Blue Ocean. Think Blue Ocean. Think
Blue
what can
Ocean.
you do?
I'm in it.
So I think what you said there's great. The gathering spot. I mean, find out why people gather here. We had a client of ours in called Downtime Taps in Seattle that talked about their patio being dog friendly. I said, let's prove it. Let's get on Facebook. Let's post a picture of a dog with a guy drinking his beer and tell people to share their favorite dog pictures from the patio. I think it was 78 people in like 2 days.
That's awesome.
So we turned around and I said, guys, now you have a post to make every week that isn't staged, and it's obvious it's not staged, and that those people are like, oh my gosh, that's Joe. And they'll tag him and comment and share it.
Sure. You're brilliant.
It's $100. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a gift card for you. $100 gift card right here.
So talking about food, so Logan, who's producing the podcast on the other side of the lights, he said, hey, who's coming in? I said, Andrea's coming in. Ansubiguan. I said, she's from the European Cafe. He goes, oh, the place with the short rib grilled cheese. Like, not the place that was like his first day on the job. They went up. So talk about, putting a little difference in your food. Because that could have been a grilled cheese. It could have been something else. But it's a unique thing. And I know you have a chef that comes up with these genius concoctions.
Sure. So actually, that was something that we kind of thought about and he kind of catapulted us toward that. So we always strive to do something that is a little different, but not so far, pork belly with a this and a that and a, whatever, and just crap on the menu. It's like, what does this mean? I don't know what this is. I don't want to eat this.
Yeah, what is the ingredient?
So our whole goal is to make really good food that you want to eat, and just using really fresh ingredients. And I know that's kind of everybody says that, right? But
most of them don't.
Most of them don't. Most of them don't. If I tell you how many dozens of eggs I go through each week and pounds of butter just for my baking, nobody does that. But we do that. We make everything, all of our bakery items are made in-house from scratch by me. And it sells, and people notice it, and they appreciate it.
Have you told them this?
Yes, I tell them all the time. And my staff is very good about telling them all the time, she's the one who makes all this. She's the one.
Is this on the website? Is there a video on there of you talking about it?
No, but there could be.
Because there's a saying I like to tell people, the only person that's going to tell your story is you.
Correct.
And the best, the person who wants to get out in front of it, like when you have a PR problem and when businesses have it, like they say, get out in front of it, be the leader on it. Don't wait 2 weeks where people have their mind made up. But when you have products like that, because the restaurants down the street don't tell their story enough. how they make it, what goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this little device here on a tripod on the counter, you back there whisking 50 eggs. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Andrea, what are we doing? I'm making XYZ. These are our lemon drops. And did you know? You know what? I'm not going to tell you, but guess how many eggs we go through in a week? Comment below. If you're watching this live, comment #live. You'll get a double entry. But if you're watching it recorded, go ahead and comment. You get one entry, and we're going to give away a $25 gift card to the person that guesses the most eggs. If you can inflect these items about your business into those quick videos and things, now you get engagement, you get education. But a lot of people don't realize. They assume that, oh, it's coming off a truck or it's made something.
And that is, we use, so in addition to that, in addition to me baking all the time, that's why I had these dark circles. You know, we use fresh, local bread from a couple of different bakers. We use 16 Bricks. We use Blue Oven.
Never heard of Blue Oven.
Oh, they're fabulous. They're
Where's
down Findlay.
Findlay, okay. Findlay Market?
Yep.
Okay.
They were out in Williamsburg, and then they had a big fire, and they have these English muffins.
I like English muffins.
They have these English muffins that are life-changing English muffins. Sourdough, really thick, really big. We do a sandwich on them. We offer them as, you know, sides and that kind of thing. But we make our BLT&E on one of those. And, you know, lots of nice thick-cut bacon that we cook off every single day, and a nice runny egg and arugula and
So what time do you guys open?
6:30, Tuesday through Friday.
So if Logan and I and the team were to come up at 6:30, we could enjoy some fresh pastries and coffee. Mm-hmm. We could work for 2 hours, enjoy an amazing sandwich.
Yep.
We could work for 2 hours and then have that awesome short rib grilled cheese.
At 11 o'clock.
There we go. That's a game plan right there. We could literally, like, instead of pub crawl, we can European cafe crawl, like table crawl, and just
crawl,
and
right?
we might actually be crawling by the time we eat all that. But everything you just said sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how do I consume all of these items in a short period of time?
I'll help you with the challenge. I got you.
And you said something earlier too. I want to go back on that got my attention because this happened to me recently. It's a simple concept. It's grilled cheese. Everybody knows what that is because even my dumbass can make a grilled cheese. And then it's got the short rib on it, so now I know what a short rib is. I'm expecting a certain thing.
Right.
I was at a restaurant recently where this burger looked awesome. I had no clue what 5 of the things were on. I'm like, what is this? She's like, oh, that's this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, what are those? And it got to a point where she literally was like, do you like this? I'm like, no, I like this. Okay, you want this one. I'm looking at I'm not a fancy dancy foodie schmoodie. I like.
You just want
and I
good
literally
food that's,
And now, granted, what she brought out was amazing. It was a great burger and a great experience. But the education process was like I literally needed a culinary degree to order my sandwich.
And see, I don't ever want our menu to read like people going, oh, what?
Yeah.
What is that? And then the server has to take the time to explain, oh, it's really, bacon, but we're calling it this, and so that's a time waster. And also then you've lost the person, you've lost the sale because they may not even feel comfortable asking, what is this?
Yeah. Oh, because you feel stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just take the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Can I have grape, please? Something like that. So you don't want to make it complicated for them. You have to spell out what it is. At this stage of everybody's life, I think everybody knows that, an aioli is basically some juiced up mayonnaise. It's, so I do use that term, but I don't go as far as, pork jowl and that's not who we are.
Butter, bacon, jam, infused.
Yeah, what is that?
Bacon, bread, cheese, pizza. And you're like, oh,
exactly.
What happened?
Yeah, I just want a cheese pizza. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah, a question popped in my head that I got to ask, and this could be for the audience out there. When you watch this or listen to it, comment wherever you see it. You eat Pop-Tarts? Have you ever had Pop-Tarts ever?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, a lot.
I love Pop-Tarts.
Love
Do you
Pop-Tarts.
Toast your Pop-Tarts or not?
Ideal
situation.
Ideal situation, it goes in the toaster.
Thank you.
If I am on the road, though, and I am hungry,
the road's different. I'm talking
open
about
that bad boy up and let's go.
You're at home. You got your coffee brewing.
It has to be toasted.
It's called a Pop-Tart.
Exactly.
I got into a pretty heated confrontation with my son the other day about this, that not allowing a Pop-Tart to be popped, you're not allowing it to fulfill its potential as a Pop-Tart, and that just disappoints me. I've got a whole list of people that I need to probably unfriend because of this.
Because they don't, no. And your son is young. He's
young.
Still
He hasn't learned yet.
He'll learn.
Yeah,
He'll learn. But no, you have to toast the Pop-Tart. Unless, of course, you are like in the car.
If you're in a hurry at a gas station,
on the fly.
I wouldn't trust a toaster at a gas station.
No. And, you can't stick it on your engine of your car long enough, to warm that up. So you just kind of eat it out of the little...
The wrapper.
The wrapper thing, whatever it is. Are you a chocolate or a fruity kind of guy?
I'm fruity.
Are you?
I'm a strawberry or cherry. But I mean,
Gotcha.
I had one recently that was Fruit Loops flavored. And I'll say this, they didn't hold up well in the toaster like the traditional ones do.
Yeah.
But they weren't bad. It was all the gas station had, and I went back to our Airbnb. So I have patience with Pop-Tarts. Like, if I'm not in a hurry and I can get back to the Airbnb or the hotel I'm in, I'm like, got to find a toaster. But I'm a fruity guy on my Pop-Tarts. I'm more of a chocolate guy on my desserts or my donuts.
Gotcha.
So last question.
Yes, sir.
You've been a great guest, amazing guest, 2-time world champion MPTV guest. Airplane mode. So my phone right now, so that it doesn't ring, is on airplane mode.
Yes.
And Matt Plapp occasionally puts it on airplane mode and hangs out with the family or does some hobbies. What do you do to turn it off and not be in the cafe and not be worrying about cost of goods and not be worrying about everything else?
I have learned the value of setting my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I have it as a clock kind of thing. So every night at, I can't remember if it's 8 or 9, the only people that can bother me are my children, my mother, my family.
Yeah.
They can bother me, but everybody else, move along.
So what do you do in that time? What is your go-to relaxation? Is it reading? Is it movies? Is it?
There's usually a big glass of wine involved. Usually some popcorn. Just sit and maybe watch some mindless TV.
Yep.
Yeah, just clear it out. Because there's always paperwork that needs to be done. When you own a business, and you know this, there's always something that could be done. But if you don't afford yourself the time to just sit and you're toast.
Well, it affects the quality of your other work as well.
Sure.
Because me, I was joking with one of our new sales guys, like I have 30 people in my text, I could call right now to do business. This sounds dumb because a lot of people need money and revenue. And
certainly.
I don't have the time. So that's one of the reasons I keep hiring people. We have 9 people now on the sales team, and I'm like, okay, I got to get this to 30 so that I can easily take care of what we need, because I could work 4 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week, and still not get caught up. And that's where I think people struggle, because they think, I got to do everything. And like, no, you need to sometimes just chill the hell out. Like, I didn't take my phone last night. 2 nights ago, my son had a lacrosse game, and I'm in the bleachers, and everybody's on their phones. I'm there to watch the lacrosse game. And my wife's like, hey, do me a favor, text me on there, Mike. She wanted me to remind her.
Right.
I'm like, I can't. My phone's in the car. She's like, I figured it was. Never mind. But that's
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 awesome.
one of my things.
No, that's awesome. I will say I am one of those people where I feel like I always have to do everything. The one thing that we afforded ourselves when we reopened the European Cafe is we are closed on Mondays.
Ooh, love it.
Our other shop, Branch Hill Coffee, 7 days a week. When we first bought that shop, it was 6 to 6, 7 days a week.
Because you guys had a crazy morning rush there, too.
Woo! Yeah. So we adjusted those hours as we went along, and we got more comfortable with the flow, and we could watch the numbers. And it's like, there's no reason for us to be here at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. No one is out.
Yep.
So we adjusted those hours. But now we, we're closed on Mondays, which is needed. And I still work, but I don't get up at 4:30. Yep. But I still go in and I do baking and I do this, but it's at a relaxed pace, and I don't have people, Andrea, this, Andrea, give me this, Andrea, I need this, can you come here, can you help me? This doesn't work, this, whatever. So it's a completely, that has been so good for us.
Yep.
And, everybody knows that they get a day off.
Yeah. Yeah, so we instituted, and I actually forgot this week was one of them because it didn't show up right on my calendar. We instituted every month we have a 3 or 4 day weekend.
That's perfect.
And so this month, I had no clue it was until somebody yelled at me Wednesday night for asking an employee to do something Thursday. Like, hey, it's our 4 day weekend. I'm like, oh, shit, it is my bad. But we had St. Patrick's Day was Thursday. I'm like, okay,
sure.
It's a restaurant holiday. Our team will be off Thursday, Friday, and Logan was gracious to come in real quick and do this for me.
Thank you,
I didn't
Logan.
even know. I don't know how he knew we were happening. Maybe I emailed somebody or said something, but
telepath.
Yeah, he might be psychic, like Dionne Warwick's kid, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. So then the house didn't burn down. Like our clients, we have a lot of clients, and a lot of things that happened, but we had things that happened, and the clients didn't like call in mutiny because they were employees were off for a couple of days.
Right. So it's, I know some companies, even in my previous life as an insurance agent, which is still there, there were companies that...
HTT, right?
No.
Was it back in the day when I met you, it was Tom Tassett, wasn't it?
No, I never... Oh. That was not...
Oh, wasn't you? Okay.
No. It was... I started with CAI Insurance.
CAI, that's what it was. Because that was a, what's the brand that sponsored the Reds?
Yeah.
CAI, what was the brand you guys carried?
Oh, gosh.
Out of Columbus, Ohio. My mind's going blank now. Anyways, I'm sorry.
So anyway,
Motorist.
There were
Motorist insurance.
Yeah, motorist insurance. A ton of companies would have like summer hours. And their company reps and the company would shut down at noon on Friday. So nobody worked, between April and it was usually tied to daylight savings, which don't get me started on.
Hopefully it's going away. They just voted
I
the other
don't
day.
want that. We'll be in the dark forever. Our sun won't go up until 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yes,
so we wouldn't do what we're doing. Oh, okay.
Nope, and we'd have more darkness. I'm not a fan. I was a fan until I learned what would happen, and now I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I just don't like that I got to change my clock all the time.
Well,
because my car right now, I can't figure out how to change
your
it.
clock changes on its own.
In my car, I can't figure it out. And so I was like literally 6 months ago, I'm like, yes, my clock's right. And now I'm like, damn it, it's off an hour again.
It's off an hour.
I can't figure it out. I guess I could Google it, but I was just going to look in the yellow pages.
Use one of your Google searches. Go ahead. You have unlimited.
They are free.
So, so just affording yourself some time to do that.
Yep.
To do what you need to do. So, turning my phone to do not disturb. And whenever my phone beeps, I know it's one of my little rugratty kids telling me something ridiculous or sending me a TikTok video.
That's about mine. We have a text chain called Gang Shit. Don't know how it got called Gang Shit. It's my wife, my son, my daughter, and her boyfriend Mason. And the only time it goes off is 90% of the time it's my wife either sending a cute dog picture from the past from our dogs or a TikTok.
Yep.
And that goes back and forth.
Yep.
Awesome. I enjoyed having you back.
I enjoyed being back. It was an honor to be the first one you called to come back the second time.
Number 1, number 2.
Perfect.
That sounded weird.
That did.
But there we go. That's MPTV. We'll see you next episode. If you take one thing from this, it's don't be afraid to not compromise. If you're doing something like they did with European Cafe, don't be afraid to bite the bullet, close it down for a time, make it what you think it should be. Don't put lipstick on a pig. That's all we got. See you next episode.